lot of people are really focused on tenet number 2 and tenet number 3, which are eat and move, in order to express like the strongest, leanest, what they believe is the most visually dominant form of themselves. And what I try to tell everybody is it's just not how you eat or how you move. It really has to do with all 9 ancestral tenets. All 9 ancestral tenets is gonna get you the right nourishment, it's gonna get you the right mechanical loading, it's gonna get you all the raw inputs to optimize your hormones so that you can express your highest version. So like for example, with ancestral tenet number 9, which is bond, when you get together with people and you deeply connect and you laugh and you talk and you get that sort of interaction going, you're in a state of abundance, you're in a state of expansion versus a state of contraction and a state of scarcity, right? So like if you're contracting and if you're not hanging out with people and if you're not bonding, your cortisol's through the roof. And when your cortisol's through the roof, your blood sugar's high. And if your blood sugar's high, you're not in beta oxidation or fat burning mode. So you can easily make the case that our ability to bond and connect and really laugh is just as important as how we eat and how we move and how we sleep and getting cold and connecting. All 9 ancestral tenets all together are gonna stack with one another so that we can express the best version of ourselves.
Dude, yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with that study that just took a massive sample size and tried to figure out the highest risk factor activities. And most people think smoking would be number 1. It's actually number 2, and loneliness was way, way, way more deadly.
I'm sure.
It almost seems like you literally would be better off smoking and drinking with friends than doing all those healthy things alone.
Oh yeah, bro. Again, you know, everyone's asking me like, does Liver King drink alcohol? I'm like, yes, Liver King. I'm Liver King. Yes, I drink alcohol, you know, but I've built a more biologically resilient version of myself so that I can take on some poison. And then I got to sort of, you know, really quickly think through, okay, what are the benefits and what are the risks here? And the benefits of deeply bonding with my friends and with my wife, what I'm going to get out of that is geometrically a return versus the poison that I'm taking on. In fact, the poison might even be hermetically beneficial, but the net win is definitively like in front of you. This is why I generally have drinks every Saturday. Bro, and again, like there's like this biology of laughter and bonding and so many physiological and biochemical processes that we have no idea about because there's no economic incentive for anybody to do the studies. You can't sell endorphins, right? You can't sell laughter. You can't sell this deep connection that you feel that's an intangible benefit that draws you back to wanting to spend time with your friends and your family and loved ones and people that you enjoy bonding with. You know, there's nobody who can sell these things, so it's not studied. I'm just saying bonding is something that we've done since the inception of our being. It's something that we still need today to express the best version of ourselves. Out on my rest days into the neighborhood to walk, like it's kind of hard to beat being out here, you know, or if I'm on the ranch, sometimes it's hard to walk out the ranch because the grass is up to here. Have you been out? You've been out there, and you should see right now the grass is like up to here. So sometimes I'm like walking out on my dirt road. Like, why am I walking out on my dirt road? So I've started mowing around the perimeter. But when you mow around 500 acres, that takes some time to mow that. And so, you know, we have some cattle out there. We're putting some more, and these guys put in the most incredible game trails. That is where you walk. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, you know, these animals are smart, right? Like, they let somebody else cut the trail, then they follow behind, and then after, you know, a couple dozen have done it, there's no more, you know, grass or obstacles that they need to mow down. There's less effort. You know, they organize in a way to be efficient, and so why would we do anything other than that also? So yeah, the game trails are great, but if you really rotate them too often, or I'm sorry, not too often, if they don't get back on the same plot that they were on where they created that game trail, it overgrows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The storm is coming, y'all.
It's coming.
Like, this is the energy that you want. Run to it.
Bro, this Look at the leaves blowing. This is so sick.
Yeah.
There's a big one coming. We got lightning and everything coming for sure.
Good. When we were in Mexico on vacation, a hurricane came. Did you know that?
No.
There was a hurricane coming. And so my wife and I, Liver Queen, we're sitting on the beach. Everybody's running. Everyone's leaving. And it's like, man, the storm is coming. Like, we're about to see the show of a lifetime. We're about to get the experience of a lifetime. We just held hands and we just sat there for hours out on the beach. And I'll tell you, be out in the storm. It's being out in nature. I mean, that was only 20, 30 seconds, right? But that's an extension of where we came from, into the storm. I really try and use these lessons for my boys. Because as we're walking on the beach and you're looking up at the shore, you're seeing a lot of couples not really facing each other, not holding hands. Some of them have their chairs turned the opposite way. And I'm okay, I love to read. I read as well, right? But one person's reading one book, another person's on their phone, or both people are on their phone, and they're doing different things, but they're in the same vicinity. And so I point that out to my boys. I say, guys, look what the world has come to. You know, now I want you guys to pay attention to what your mom and dad do. Because I don't want them just to take that for granted. You know, what we model is far more important than what we teach and preach. And so when my wife and I are on the beach, or when we're hanging out, we don't have our phones, we don't even have magazines or books. You know, we're just holding hands and we're just talking for hours. And that sort of connection, man, that kind of time, spending that kind of time with somebody that you love and care about, the renewal, the growth that comes from that, you know, it's just really important to me that my kids know like how important that is. And that is actually what's normal, right? That's the right way to be. That's the healthy way to be. And phones came out and magazines are new too, right? Like all these new things, these distractions came up that are entertaining, and they're just distracting enough to take you away from the best quality of life that you could be living. It's enough to take you away from your ability to bond, to get all those health promoting benefits, so that maybe they can sell you something. You know, I will say, if two people are reading the same book and they're like, hey man, let's finish this paragraph, let's talk about it. Yeah. Different story, right? Real quick funny story. My wife is reading this magazine. I won't say the name of it. And she goes, hey, look at how gaudy this is. It's like a Christmas display. They're advertising for Christmas displays, right? She goes, look at how gaudy this is. Doesn't this look ridiculous? And I look over at it, and she's expecting me to say, oh, that's ridiculous, right? And I'm expecting to say that too, because we have a natural tendency to want to agree with one another. So I look over at it, and I say, that's exactly what I want in my house for Christmas. I was like, I want 3 of those things, dude. And just yesterday we were talking about it, and I said, I want the house to feel like that. I want the house to look like that, and I want it to feel like that. And you know why she shut it down? Too much plastic. Just too much plastic, too many modern day synthetic materials that's gonna off-gas. And even though it will bring light in the form of how we feel and remind us that it's the holidays, we're gonna bring some of that stuff in. And so she agreed, we'll bring some of this stuff in. But when I saw that magazine, I said, I want that in the whole house. and so yesterday she's like, that's not gonna happen.
What was it? What was the item?
It was all this Christmas stuff. You don't even believe how many things you can decorate. I mean, it would have been like, I don't know, like a Dr. Seuss kind of Christmas. It looked incredible, dude.
Yeah, bro. No.
I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I want to be there. That's like a winter wonderland, you know?
Absolutely. Well, I guess you could just nab a bunch of pine trees and organic wreaths and all that kind of vibe.
That's true. I'm going to tell her that today.
Yeah.
Give me all of that.
That could be fun. And then just some Christmas lights. Just a little bit of plastic. A little bit of LED. Nothing too crazy.
Dude, well, we have all of our Christmas lights, and they're not LED lights.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that existed.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you can still get the old-fashioned Christmas lights that are not LED lights.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
You know what was a random question we were wondering is, you know, obviously Liver King and family are not eating Halloween candy. Do you do anything special? Like, it's not that good of a holiday, but do you do anything to kind of replace that feeling or that candy?
Yeah. Yeah, so when it comes to Halloween, we love to celebrate holidays. You know, it's like when you're living this ancestral lifestyle, a lot of people are thinking, oh my gosh, look at how much you sacrifice. Why don't you just have fun? There's nothing wrong with having a little fun. Bro, I'll tell you, you'll be hard pressed to find a family that has more fun and celebrating the holidays. So when it comes to Halloween, everybody dresses up, and yes, we go trick-or-treating. Do we eat any of that? Of course we don't eat any of that. The kids usually get like, there's an exchange rate anywhere from $0.25 to $1 for every piece of candy that they brought in. And we just look at it like, man, we're taking the trash off the streets. We're taking the trash off the streets. Our kids get to go and experience Halloween and trick-or-treating and running around and like expressing some more independence and socializing with these other kids and talking with the adults. Again, getting dressed up, man, that's fun. So yeah, we lean into that. We amplify that. They get to pick it, they get to go trick-or-treating, but they would never for a second eat any of that stuff. And like I said, you know, when we pay them for you know, their whatever they picked, whatever they've got in their basket, they love that because now they get to get something cool from it.
Definitely. Do you do any special, because I know you have liver ice cream, are there any other recipes you bust out on Halloween night to replace the Twixes and Snickers and Butterfingers?
Yeah, well, Liver Queen makes some really awesome gingerbread stuff. So she makes like gingerbread houses. So yeah, in terms of like, what do we replace some of the like Halloween or festive treats with? And so Liver Queen makes this incredible, like these ginger cookies. And fuck, dude, there's something I can't think of it right now.
Ginger cookies sound fire, yeah.
Yeah, there's ginger cookies, and there's one other thing that it's like a butter cookie that she makes.
Love it.
Yeah, that's basically it. But she will also make something with like chocolate, 100% cacao chocolate, and some dates. And so she'll either kind of like blend that up a little bit, or she'll just melt the chocolate into the date.
Oh, yeah. That sounds fire.
Yeah, that's really good.
I love it. Yeah. We're thinking a lot of people are going to be curious on Halloween. Be like, so what does Liver King do?
Well, and you know what's real interesting? I get this question all the time. Do you ever have a cheat meal? And my answer to that would be, I have a cheat meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. You know, I get to eat double bacon cheeseburgers and ribeyes and lobster with endless amount of grass-finished butter, topped with salt. Liver King concoction, you won't find a dessert that tastes better than that. You put maple syrup on this stuff, a little bit of maple syrup with a frozen liver and salt and drizzled with a little bit of olive oil. There's nothing that tastes better than the food that I get to eat. So in terms of, you know, well, what do they do for Halloween? We get our treats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think when you live this way for enough time, again, the body, your instincts become far more identifiable and beneficial, and you crave this kind of food. You know, the thought of eating, let's say, traditional pizza, zero inclination whatsoever. The thought of having a piece of bread, you know, or a bun with my cheeseburger, why would you want a bun with your cheeseburger? Just zero inclination whatsoever. You know, so I get all the nutrient-dense stuff. From a palate standpoint, there's nothing that tastes better. And then from a nourishment standpoint, there's absolutely zero comparison. And then you don't have to poison your body with that stuff.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah, I did full carnivore and I stopped craving stuff. It took less than a week to stop having food cravings. And I think a lot of people confuse hunger with cravings because their taste buds are all messed up, their microbiome's messed up, and you're craving something, you're craving a pizza. It literally takes a week, maybe two, and all of a sudden that stuff tastes so hyper palatable, like like just overdone.
It lights up your brain. And,
Yeah.
and the thing is, what most people are craving is not even food, right? They're creating some semblance of nourishment that we get from bonding, that we get from the sun, that we get from moving, and of course that we get from eating. But when you live all 9 ancestral tenets, those sort of cravings completely fall aside, completely fall away. And so I know some people can take a few weeks, some people it can take a month, but once you get to that point, that's it, man, it's on.
Yeah, no, it's game time. See, last time I was here, Barbara gave me some of that ground up ribeye, and my brain lit up. I went home and just had a whole ribeye steak, and it tasted amazing. It feels amazing, and I don't know. There's something to the raw food as well. And I know you eat tons of raw and tons of cooked, but there's something specifically in terms of like lighting up your brain that the raw food does, and I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, you know, I think it's just really important to recognize our ancestral past. You know, when Weston A. Price traveled the world, the indigenous tribes, to see how they were eating, what he was hoping to do is validate the healthiest people in the world didn't eat meat. And he found the opposite, that the healthiest tribes always had some form of animals in their diet, even if it was just blood and raw milk, at the very least. And so what I would say is that clearly we evolved early on with raw foods, right? But even today, you know, when we had the ability to make fire at will, well, of course we cooked some of our food, but we didn't always cook our food. And so we really integrate a little bit of both. What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong with either of these things? So why not hedge a little bit? And like you said, your brain lights up when you have some raw meat. Me too. You know, we only have Thursday's dinner is completely raw. And so you'll see I'm going to eat a pound of raw meat on Thursday dinner. But yeah, every meal has cooked food and raw food in it. Cooked versus raw. At the end of the day, when we talk about cooked versus raw, we absolutely evolved with raw animal foods. I think you could easily make the case that we really became human because we were able to access the brain inside the cranium and the bone marrow inside of the bones. That's probably our first food. It was all raw. And then as we really evolved from there, one day we really, you know, got really good at fire at will, and then we started to cook some things. Any way you look at it, we absolutely had raw animal foods on the menu as well as cooked food. So why not eat both?